In truth, I wish I had never been born in this society. This society puts burdens on me that I wish simply did not exist but continue to exist only because rich people do not care enough to stop them no matter how bad my life is. If I had children, their lives would be worse than mine. This society will do nothing but get worse, and it is undeniable that my children's lives will be worse than mine, even though my life is already terrible. This society is so abusive to children that no matter how good of a parent you are, your children will have terrible lives and be abused and raped every day by society, just as I and every other human on this planet has been. I truly believe that until things change and until everyone can live a life where they are not stressed about what tomorrow may bring, it is immoral to have children. Not only is the modern age so full of political turmoil, but the way children are treated in our society is fundamentally flawed. In our society, children are treated as less than everyone else until they reach a certain age, and that age is around 16. Until a child is 16, this society thinks of them as stupid and dumb, and that they don't know what they are doing. In reality, some of the most kind and intelligent people I've met in my entire life were middle and elementary schoolers. I think this is because young children are not yet infected by culture and society. Much like an autistic individual like me, young children do not care or do not understand social norms or society and their place in it. When a 5-year-old has problems with another 5-year-old, they will talk to each other about it, and it is resolved easily. Toddlers and elementary school children do not have the same societal issues as other people. I do not believe this to be a fault of them being younger and simply not understanding social interactions. Instead, I believe this because younger children do not care or think about the things adults care or think about. The average elementary schooler is not stressed in their world because, well, the average elementary schooler doesn't care about the stuff we care about. They are completely different from an adult or a teenager in every way. They would not care for something like a job or taxes because they have no comprehension of those things yet. Because the only thing an elementary schooler needs to do to survive is to cry to their mother to get some more of their favorite food and, maybe go play in the playground with their friends, They don't care. A child doesn't care about their looks or being professional or manly or being dateable or anything else. When a young boy is upset, he'll just cry and seek comfort in his peers or his mother and things like that. But when an adult man is sad, he doesn't cry. He keeps it to himself because crying in public is seen as weird, or trying to reach out for help is seen as weird in our society, especially towards older men. And, this is because children have not been affected by the disease that is culture and society, but adults have been infected by its disease. Culture is such a parasite that it infects us as soon as we learn to speak. Our language can... Fuck. I messed up. It infects us as soon as we learn to speak and can be even seen sooner. I was watching a while back a documentary about these monkeys who are being raised like human children. There's a lot of documentaries and research about people doing something like that, like taking wild apes and trying to raise them from when they are born to be more like a human, and it is disgusting to me. It's absolutely disgusting that these people would try to take these animals and try to make them like people. But then again, people are animals, so, what do I know? But they try to make these chimps learn language, and in every single time they compare the chimp's intelligence to that of a young person, somewhere around 2 or 3 years old. I've even heard one of them be as smart as a 5-year-old's in one of the videos I watched, I think. Maybe I'm misremembering, but whatever. And I feel like these monkeys are adapting to their environment just as a small human child would. And their intelligence levels prove that to me. In practically every case, the monkey has difficulty adapting to its environment, and in some extreme cases can even become violent. And I can see this as a clear similarity to human infants. And this is why children go at the ages of 2 go through their terrible 2 stage, where they cry and rebel against their parents by crying and pushing them away, I guess. It's also the reason that sometimes children will cry even when they have everything they could possibly want. Like if a child is fed, or well, a child before they learn language. If they have everything they could need, there's nothing wrong with them, but they're still crying. This isn't because they want attention. It's because they are uncomfortable with the situation they have been found in. They are uncomfortable with the situation they are in. You know, the society that they are in, even at such a young age, they don't understand it. The only thing a child understands is being with its mother and, like, eating, or, well, not eating, like, getting milk from its mother. That's probably one of the only things they should understand at that age. So when all this different things happen to them that they don't understand, the only thing they know is to rebel against it. You know, why does mom make me wear this diaper that feels so uncomfortable on my skin? Why is mom feeding me this baby food slop instead of delicious food I want to eat? Why is dad making me drink from this bottle when mother's milk is much better? Why does dad not want me to cry here when I want to cry here? You know? It's they they don't have the words to describe these things because they're so young yet. They don't know our language. So the only thing they do know how to do is to rebel and to cry against these things and to push them away and rebel against their caregivers, whether that be their parents or whoever else is caring for them. And it's not the uncomfortability in their environment that suddenly stops when they learn how to speak. It's just they've been so used to this environment that they do not like, that they believe it is normal, that they believe it is good. You know, oh, instead of wearing these diapers, mom wants me to wear these clothes. Okay, I guess that's just how things are. Instead of drinking this baby bottle, dad wants me to eat this processed food. At least it tastes better than the slop I was having earlier, you know? That's probably what goes through their minds. And eventually they will age into elementary school and middle school, and they will be the best and happiest years of their life. They were the best and happiest years of mine were in middle and elementary school. And ever past that point, it is just a downward spiral. There is nothing happier than those points. After this, it is only suffering, and it will never get better. And no matter how hard they try, I messed up again. But yeah, elementary school is great for kids. But in middle school, they start to fall into their societal roles. They start to comprehend society more. They start to understand their place in it. You know, there's the jocks and the nerds and the bullies and the loners and all the individual friend groups and cliques. They start to form. It's not everybody being friends with everybody else. It's I'm friends with this person and that person hates you, so I hate you. It's they're fitting into society now. And this they think of themselves less as animals in a pack and instead as people in a society. And that will become even more apparent as they grow older and older. However, rich children will never have the same problems as poor or middle class children as their peers would. And, you know, throughout this video, I've been only talking about middle and lower class children because rich children's lives are so different in comparison that it's impossible to even know, because again, I'm not a rich child. But rich rich children don't need to worry about falling into their societal roles because they're rich. They'll have friends either way. They can just use their money to get more friends. And as they get older, they'll never need to worry about having a summer job in high school to get a little bit more money to get what they want because their dad just buys it for them or something like that. And even after that, when they're an adult, they don't need to worry about a job. They'll just live off their parents' money because they're rich. But especially rich children, it is evident that they are much more spoiled than any poor or middle class child could ever possibly be. Because rich children will always get what they want no matter what, and will never be faced with the same problems as a poor or middle class child could ever have. I truly do believe that human reproduction in the year we live in is inhumane for a variety of reasons. Humans are born and created without their consent. The child's parents are gambling on their child's possibility of pain and seizure, and are gambling on the child's success as a whole. It is entirely possible that an individual will see no success in their life. In fact, it is much more common today to see an individual not achieve anything in their life and work a job forever and never be rich and never have the pleasure of having a comfortable life, and they don't have to worry about, even one medical emergency sending them back into poverty. It is much more common for someone to be, not successful in their life than it is someone to be successful in their life. The majority of people's lives are suffering, whether they see it or not. They are suffering. And we are put into this suffering without our consent in every single case before we could even think to say no.